Here in Paris, the mood has been tense and defiant. This morning's shooting dead of a policewoman, apparently carried out by a different gunman, raised all sorts of fears on the ground. But today's National Day of Mourning went ahead as planned, with a minute's silence for those killed observed across the country. I've been out and about around the city assessing the mood and hearing some of the tributes to the victims. As of yesterday, France is grappling with a new set of demons. In the relentless rain, they gather to commemorate the dead, but also to show their defiance. Where else but Notre Dame? This may be the country's most iconic church, but the values they came to defend with the eloquent dignity of silence are as secular as they are democratic. The only thing that moved in the crowd were two policemen. Vigilance is here to stay. Yesterday, the pen came under attack from the gun. Today, the pen fought back. Your pen?
Because I'm a publisher and my business, my job is in the field of writing, and yesterday the writing thing in the press has been on attack.
So this is your weapon?
Yes, that's my weapon. My only weapon.
Your only weapon?
My only weapon with my thought and my books, the books I publish.
And she was not alone. There were pens galore in honor of the sacred right to satire embodied by the dead cartoonists, some of whom were household names in France. We headed to the other side of Paris, to Barbès, a quartier where many of the country's 5 million Muslims live. At first, they didn't want to speak to us, but when they heard that we were from Britain, they opened up with a combination of sympathy, anger, and fear. Vous étiez insulté des dessins? I asked him whether he felt insulted by the cartoons lampooning Mohammed from Charlie Hebdo. Yes, he said, but the violent response was unacceptable. They were all insulted, they told me, by the drawings in Charlie Hebdo. They didn't like the fact that Mohammed was insulted, but none of them said that that justifies a violent response. And of course that's a really crucial point, because they also feel that what happened in Paris yesterday could be used against them, especially by the National Front. In Parliament, a robust response from one of France's most prominent centre-right-wing politicians.
I will not myself, let's say, scorn at religion, but I will say to them then they have to really make progress, because cartoonists belong for long and centuries to these democratic states in France as well as in many other European states. And never forget that in this country, you know, the ordinary people have also sometimes scorned and criticized the king, the emperor, the pope, etc. It belongs to our tradition. And if they don't like this tradition, they can go and live otherwise.
But they were born in France.
They can be born in France. You know, if those people don't recognize, don't want to live in a secular state where you have equality of sex, where you have freedom of speech, freedom to criticize religions, then I think that they have really, you know, to really for themselves think over and say, should I stay in here or should I go somewhere else?
If this really became an enforced choice, it could surely push more and more French Muslims into the extremist camp. That is the jihadi hope, and what I heard next would be music to their ears.
We are genuinely at war, and there is no doubt about that. And this is a war that, of course, we have seen coming up. I belong to the intelligence committee, and I can tell you that the services always said to us, this is not if, but it is when and where. And now it happens.
Paris is on high alert tonight for any new threats and for any politicians who can perform the delicate balancing act demanded by this crisis. Ensemble, ça va? Okay.